And here we go.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Mike. Welcome to the Super Wheeler Bros podcast. Let's see, episode number 104, I believe. Hey, I know Jake's not here this week, but I had a couple of things to say about a couple of really awesome things that happened this week. So I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk to you guys about that and, have a little tiny podcast this week. Doesn't have to be super big, but we're going to get into some really cool stuff. Of course, a Game of Thrones. I don't really have to say much about that for you to know what I'm referring to, but Game of Thrones, that happened. We also have some Call of Duty news. I know Jake hates talking about that, so I definitely wanted to get on here and talk about that while he didn't have to listen to me ramble on about that and the major announcement that was kind of coupled with that right there. And I wanted to talk about my expectations for Civil War, Captain America, Civil War, and maybe if I have time at the end, I will even talk about a little bit about the NBA playoffs. But anyway, just want to get right into it. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones first. Game of Thrones. Oh, man. It's funny because in episode, 72, I think, of the podcast was when the Game of Thrones Season 5 season finale happened. And basically, we know that Jon Snow got stabbed by his own brethren at the Wall. The Night's Watch said they were taking it back from their Lord Commander because they didn't trust him because he brought the wildlings. And because they're assholes, let's be honest, okay? From here on out, while we're talking about Game of Thrones, you may want to go ahead and check out of here. If you haven't seen the episode this week, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's awesome. But starting now, spoilers. And I don't think that this was a huge surprise that this was going to happen, because what the fuck would they have done without him as a character? But Jon Snow, at the very end of the episode, was revived. He's back. He's alive. From Melisandre, the Red Woman. She was not turned into the old haggard lady that we saw at the end of episode 1, but we did get her to use her skills, even though no one except for Ghost saw the fruits of her labor, her creepy hair stroking, body cleaning labor on Jon Snow. But he revived. Our favorite character is back, which is good because, my lord, the Night's Watch, the story at the Wall, I think we all know that he's the hero of the story. It seems like it wouldn't have moved forward without Jon Snow being a part of the show. And there's too much going on with Ramsay and the Lannisters and just everything to do with that show for him not to be a part of it. And it would have really made things anticlimactic if he would have just went out the way that he did. And I know that other Starks have done the same thing, but therein lies the tricky part about Jon Snow, is he may have some other blood in him. And that's what I kind of wanted to get into, not touch on so much about the fact that he's back. I want to touch on what I think is going to happen going forward, and kind of just maybe what you guys think about what's going to happen going forward. Maybe what we're going to get into is Jon's heritage, his parentage, his lineage going to be finally revealed. When Ned Stark left Jon Snow for him to go to the Night's Watch, and he told him that the next time he would see him, that he would speak of his mother. Well, obviously that did not ever happen, since, Joffrey was around and ruined that for everyone. The major fan theory is that he is the reason that Ned Stark brought him home in the first place and didn't say anything about his mother is because he wasn't actually Ned Stark's child. Which kind of makes sense given the character that Ned Stark shows and that he wouldn't stray from his family and the counsel that he always gave in the first season of Game of Thrones. Now, the prevailing theory seems to be that Rhaegar Targaryen, Daenerys' brother, the late Rhaegar Targaryen, and Lyanna Stark had a romance and hence conceived Jon Snow. So he's apparently, by these fans' theories, a Targaryen and a Stark. And the resurrected Azor Ahai, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably pronouncing it really terribly. Try not to butcher me in the comments because of that. Sorry. But he is to the Lord of Light and Melisandre and everyone, perhaps the resurrected god. Now, I don't care as much about that part as much as I care about the emotional stuff for me. I want Jon Snow to just murder everybody, including the little shit Ollie who stabbed him. I understand he's upset, but damn it, he said, winter's coming. We know it's coming with it, and we can't face it alone. Now, apparently revenge is just on his mind, so he didn't listen to Jon Snow, who is, has seen it. So, I want revenge for Jon. I want revenge for him. I hope that he gets to capture some of that, especially with Thorne, who has been a pain in the ass since day one, and yet here he still is. Here he still is. And for God's sakes, he's got to be the man who takes out Ramsay Snow, or Ramsay Bolton, or Lord Bolton, or whatever the hell he is now. He's got to be the man that does it, because he's Jon Snow, and he's a badass, and Ramsay Bolton needs to die now, like right now. My God, that guy, he sucks. Oh, he sucks so bad. He sucks so bad that he makes Joffrey just look like one of the most tame villains that has ever come across the screen. Ramsay Snow is a bastard. Pun not intended. He is just a straight up bastard. He, in this episode, murders his father. Because why? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it advanced his military ambition. His ambition to be the heir when he is unable to find Sansa. Well, apparently he just had a little baby brother, whom, after he murders his own father, he then feeds his baby brother and his stepmother, mother, whatever you want to call her, one of the Freys, to his dogs. I mean, he's something else. He is something else. He's some kind of creepy, and he plays it really well, because man, do you hate him. He sucks. And I just cannot wait for Jon Snow to become maybe Jon Stark or Jon Targaryen. I like Jon Stark better. I think that sounds better. I think the Wolf Vigil is cool. I would love for him to go and claim Winterfell and allow Sansa to get back into as Queen of Winterfell, because goddamn, Ramsay, go away, you suck. We've got bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry in the White Walkers. I'm glad Bran Stark is back finally. Good Lord, we needed another Stark in there, because Jon and the girls have been having a rough time of it. And at least Bran gets to be on his, winter getaway in the mountains. Just chilling, just hanging out, training to, take over stuff, But, hey, Game of Thrones Episode 2 Not a game changer, not shocking like the Red Wedding was. I'm sorry that I wasn't shocked by it. We said way back on day one, he can't be dead. He can't be dead. And he wasn't. And also, one quick note to touch on that they decided to release afterwards. Kit Harington released a Twitter post afterwards saying that, I'm sorry we lied. It was funny, though, that we lied and you guys ate it all up for almost a year and caused all this controversy and caused all this internet talk, and they did their jobs really well. It's kind of the opposite, though, of what The Walking Dead did in their final episode, where they actually killed someone in the end of that so that you had time to speculate on what's going to happen next, what's going to happen going forward, instead of, well, who did he kill? I don't know. Man, don't even get me started. See, and we specifically avoided talking about the Walking Dead season finale because it just pissed us off. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Some people, they're all about manipulating their audience. And I'm not saying Game of Thrones did not manipulate their audience. They did. But that's a good cliffhanger. The cliffhanger of, well, who did he kill? When we have material out there that says specifically who he killed in the comics, you can either go that direction or not. You don't want to... I'm sorry, but even Abraham, as much as they tried to build him up this season, it's got to be Glenn. But I'm just saying, it's amazing the contrast of how they were handled, because we had this big jubilant moment at the end of the episode where we're not going to have that in The Walking Dead, because we don't know what it's going to do going forward, and we know that they're going to try and manipulate us a lot. See, that's the good thing about Game of Thrones, is they haven't tried to manipulate their audience too much. Mostly that was just the only time, it was right there at the end of the 5th season with Jon Snow. But they didn't even really try to manipulate as much as they were just trying to create a cliffhanger, and it was part of the story. Because this is going to be part of Jon's story going forward. And really quickly, before we're done talking about Game of Thrones, I really did enjoy, Theon and his little tidbit with Sansa and Brienne and Podrick. They were going their separate ways. Theon says he's going back to the Iron Islands, going back home. And, there was a little embrace, between Sansa and Theon, who is, the closest thing that she's seen to a brother in years. So, awesome second episode. Cannot wait to see what the rest of these episodes have in store, because they're going to be awesome. And yeah, I'm really easy to please. So when Jon Snow wakes up and gasps for air, I was ecstatic. I was super happy. So I was super happy. Anyway, next on the docket, we have Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And I don't really care too much about the announcement of Infinite Warfare and its Halo Reach-like trailer that we got 6 years ago, and just the fact that we're going to space in the campaign, and we're going to get at least one map in the multiplayer that is going to be space. I don't care about that too much. We did go to space a little bit in Call of Duty Ghosts. In the multiplayer, I know Infinity Ward is the one. I mean, they're the one when it came to Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 and even Modern Warfare 3. They all had excellent multiplayer. They really did. And I don't even kill, Call of Duty multiplayer. I don't really kill Call of Duty multiplayer so much in its mechanics. It's just the community, man. I don't know. I don't know how to even explain the downfall of it. I haven't even touched Black Ops 3's multiplayer. The one mode that I have touched, we're going to touch on here just a second. But, I mean, it's amazing just the fall from grace that Call of Duty's multiplayer has had, for me at least. I pretty much boycotted Ghost for like 7 months, and then when I got on it, it's easy to fall back into that Call of Duty trap, you know, because it's easy to pick up and just go right back where you left off. And man, I tell you, it was so bad. It was so bad. And then Advanced Warfare came out, and it changed up the mechanics, and I got excited again. And then I just felt like I was, you know, playing Halo of Duty, you know, Destiny number 5. You know what I mean? And it eventually just got to be where I was like, okay, this sucks. And the community once again started exploiting different things. So it just sucked. It was boring. You know, the verticality thing instead of the, you know, the nooks and crannies were starting to, I don't know, the maps got very repetitive very quickly. The only one that I loved playing was Riot. The prison was awesome, and that's because there was just so many different ways you could get in and out. So when it came to Black Ops 3, and granted, I only played the beta a little bit, and the beta was decent. You know, I like the wall running mechanic. It's so much better as a boots on the ground than it is, you know, with jetpacks and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed Exo Zombies. I thought that it had a really cool, you know, take on the zombie lore for Call of Duty. And, you know, I'm excited to see that there is a huge announcement as far as the co-op goes. This is what I really wanted to get into about, you know, what excited me about it, because, you know, I could give or take a Call of Duty campaign. It's going to be what it is. It's going to be big action set pieces, ridiculous, nonsensical story that I'm going to eat up and love and not care, because I can turn my brain off and just shoot a whole lot of shit for like 7 or 8 hours worth of gameplay. It's going to be fun. But they announced, Infinity Ward announced that they're having their own zombie mode, man. I love the zombie mode. Ever since World at War, and then Black Ops 1 came out, and it's just, the zombies has been great. And Treyarch has perfected their zombie mode. I mean, if you've played any of the zombie maps in Black Ops 3, they're all nuts, but they're all still so much fun, and they add so much playability and replayability to them. And Infinity Ward's going to have their own take on it. It's going to be awesome. Or at least, I don't know if it's going to be awesome. I mean, it's not going to be Treyarch, of course, and, you know, I thought, like I said, I really enjoyed Exo Zombies. It was a little simpler, but it changed the zombie mechanics up a little bit, but they were still tried and true zombies. You know what I mean? So it was still fun. They embraced the Easter egg community that we all love doing. You know, it lights YouTube on fire when the new maps come out. You know, their live streaming is lit on fire, you know, from new zombie maps. And I love that they're embracing that. And on the live stream with Infinity Ward, we get to learn a few things about zombies. There was a one image that was teased. I'm not going to really show it because it doesn't really show anything at all. So I'm not going to sit here and dissect it. It's pointless. But what they said was that their zombie mode is going to be unique and different, but it's going to offer the players familiarity with the mechanics that they know and love, you know? But it's going to offer something to players that they have never seen from past zombie versions. It's also not connected to Treyarch or Sledgehammer's series for Exo Zombies or Treyarch's zombie series. There's going to be plenty of Easter eggs to be found. And, you know, the big thing that they said was that they were embracing the community. They weren't going to, you know, offer up the same game that we're used to, but it's going to be their own version of something that we are familiar with. And that gives me hope, because I was the guy who immediately was like, ooh, zombies? Really? Okay, well, Sledgehammer did a pretty good job, and I'm sure they're going to consult with Treyarch. They're under the same umbrella, essentially, at Activision. So the thing is, and I know that I'm probably going to get killed about this. I know people like Noah J456, who is a huge zombie player on YouTube, who is optimistic about these things, and he even liked Exo Zombies, whereas most people killed it. I'm not going to kill it. I'm going to give it a chance because I'm excited for stuff like that. I mean, having zombies every year rather than every couple years, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that Call of Duty, while they may not be able to kind of harness the magic that they once had on multiplayer or even somewhat on campaign, they're able to listen to what the community really, really likes to do, like just the rabid fans of the community really want to do, which is play zombies because it's fun. It has replayability. You get to play with your friends, or you can play solo if you're a little badass and you want to play by yourself, you know, or you got no friends like me, you know. But it's just going to be an interesting take, and I can't wait to see more of what they come out with and little tidbits that we're going to see over the next few months until it launches on, what was it, November 4th, right before Gears of War 4, which, by the way, the beta was awesome on. But I can't wait to kind of get another glimpse or a further glimpse into what we're going to have. I do have one big gripe. Not about zombies or zombies being in there, but about how they're packaging Modern Warfare's remake, the remaster. I think it should be its own thing. I don't think that if you don't want to buy Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, that they are essentially, you know, locking you in and pigeonholing you into buying that game in order to get your Modern Warfare Remaster. Now, maybe they'll make it available separately at a later date. They didn't do that with any of the Halo Master Chief Collection games. You know, they allowed Halo ODST to be a DLC instead of being sold separately. But maybe they will eventually release it as a separate purchasable item. It is only available for the hardened edition where you get a steelbook and other digital items, or the digital deluxe version. Then you get the season pass. I mean, I don't feel like it's a really bad deal. It's $79.99 total, $80. You get the full Infinite Warfare game, you get Modern Warfare Remaster, and you get the season pass, you know, of untold things that you get, you know, zombie maps and maps for multiplayer and whatnot. But the thing is, I don't feel like it's a bad thing at all. But it kind of annoys me that they're trying to force your hand. Like, I feel like it's a good deal if you want all of that, but it really does annoy the shit out of me that they are forcing it on people who just want to play that. It's going to come with 10 multiplayer maps, original multiplayer maps from the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and it's going to feature new graphics, new mechanics, everything just going to be improved for next gen. And it's going to be sweet. Who doesn't want to play that again? Who doesn't want to play that again? It's going to be awesome. I just wish they would have just been a little more accommodating and allowing it to be purchased separately. That's just stupid. So, fix that, Infinity Ward. Fix it. Otherwise, I'm super excited. And now that I have rambled on for like 25 minutes here between Game of Thrones and Call of Duty, I want to talk about Cap and Iron Man. I want to talk about my expectations for this movie, and then we're going to wrap up because it's time to get out of here. My back is killing me. I need to go work that out or something. But anyway, the main thing that I can't wait for as Civil War comes out, actually I think as early as tomorrow with advanced screenings, I'm so excited for this because I know there's no preconceived prejudices about it, and I get to actually go out there and enjoy this movie without having to worry about defending it like I did with Batman v Superman, because I knew that even if I enjoyed it, that movie was going to cause a lot of heat. And it did. It did exactly that. And I love it. And I love that I got to be one of the ones to be defending it. And I guarantee you that a lot of tunes will be changed at some point on that movie. However, on Civil War, it's great that the reviews in advance have been fantastic. Fan reaction has been fantastic. It's just going to be one of those movies that has built up over the course of, almost 8 years now since the first Iron Man came out. That's crazy that it's been 8 years, and it's crazy that it's only been 8 years. Thinking about just where Robert Downey Jr. is in this whole thing. And I'm fully anticipating this to be one of the best Marvel movies yet, but one of the best comic book movies that we've seen yet. And that's saying a lot, because Cap 2, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, the original Iron Man, Spider-Man 2, I mean, these are just classics already. And I feel like this is going to join them. I feel like it's got a lot of heart. I feel like it's going to be able to crack jokes, because they've got great jokey characters like Ant-Man and Hawkeye and Spider-Man. Spider-Man, I can't wait for Spider-Man. It's going to be awesome. And I don't worry about it going forward like I did with Batman v Superman. I was just hoping that would become enough of a hit to where we didn't lose out on the universe they were building, because I'm digging it. And I hope that what this does is it raises the stakes and makes everything a little bit more dire, and makes sure that, when Infinity Wars rolls around, that it's not cookie cutter, which, let's be honest, some of the Marvel movies have been a little cookie cutter, there wasn't as much punch in them. And I loved Avengers Age of Ultron, but there was definitely some stuff in that bugged me. And the Thor movies, it's just, it's a little formulaic, you know what I mean? So I hope that they're able to take their cue from the Captain America movies and from Iron Man even. I mean, as much as, I hated the Mandarin and, what is his name? Guy Pearce? What was his name? I don't remember his fucking name. The dude that created Extremis. What the fuck is his name? Aldrich Killian. Got it. Anyway, as much as I hated that and Super Pepper Gwyneth Potts, that one at least was trying to do something different. You know what I mean? And I'm glad when they don't follow the formula to a T, which is why I'm glad that Civil War is coming out, and I cannot wait to see the ramifications of what that is going to create in the MCU, and it's going to be awesome. And if I sound excited about everything today, it's kind of because that's a bunch of stuff to be excited about. And I'll tell you something I am also excited about is this NBA playoffs. I hope that it ramps up. If the Thunder and Spurs game the other night was any indication of what at least that series is going to be like, I am excited for at least the next round, because we might potentially have Cavs, Heat, and Warriors, Spurs, or Warriors, Thunder. The Warriors are the luckiest team ever. And I'm sorry for all the Steph Curry fans and the Warrior fans out there. You're lucky. You are lucky. You will never get me to disagree with the fact that you're lucky. You didn't have to face any major point guards last year, and that includes the Cavs without Kyrie Irving and then their power forward Kevin Love. But you didn't have to face any major tough point guards at all. It's unbelievable to me. And let's not forget that less than 12 hours, your bad luck lasted for 12 whole hours after Steph Curry goes down with his knee injury, which is apparently nowhere near as bad as was first envisioned. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin both go out for the rest of the playoffs, and then you get to face Portland in the second round, which, let's face it, even without Steph Curry, it's going to probably be a sweep. Maybe Portland will get one. Maybe. And they're wanting to rush Steph Curry back maybe as soon as Game 3. Don't play him. Rush him. Don't rush him. Sorry. Don't rush him. What would you rush him for? They got it under control. They got it under control. It's fine. Anyways, I'm just looking forward to a fully healthy Warriors, Cavs, hopefully. Crossing fingers, because there's no telling, the Heat could do something. You never know. I never count out Dwayne Wade. Never count him out. And the Spurs. I never count out the Spurs. So, but anyway, I just wanted to take a minute before I get out of here on this brisk podcast to say thank you for your steadfast support and sharing of our content. We are doing our best to create more content and have it out more often for everyone to hopefully enjoy, or just to make fun of. If you enjoy watching us just to laugh at us because we're idiots, that's fine too. If you just want to argue, or if you really enjoy our takes and think we're entertaining and funny, or we just have good points, then we appreciate that. We appreciate all comers. It's just why whenever you comment, even if you're, telling me that I'm a doofus and that I suck, that's fine. I still appreciate your comment. Every criticism I take and I run with it. So, while saying that, I just wanted to thank everybody. We're pushing to 1,000 subscribers. That is our big push. And if you enjoy listening to us at all, or even if you think somebody else that you know might enjoy it, please feel free to share it. We're just here being goofy, being nerds, and just talking about the stuff that we love and that makes us laugh. And that's really all there is to it. On YouTube, subscribers are just a number. On iTunes and SoundCloud and all this, like followers, it's all just a number. Facebook, it's just a number. I don't really care too much about the number. I care about interacting with people and creating awesome conversation and laughing and having fun. And that's what I want people to share our stuff with you for. So please continue to do that. We love that you have interacted with us and that all of you are following as closely as you did from the first day that you joined our channel. We really appreciate it. And full disclosure, we are trying to get to a point where we can have live streams on both the podcast and for video games, and trying to find the time to balance between full-time daytime jobs and nighttime jobs and family and all of the other obligations that we have. And it is my solemn promise to you that if you enjoy our content, you will get much more than you bargained for in the near future, because we're going to make it happen one way or another. And we really, really love your support. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me for a little while today while Jake got to take himself a week off. But hopefully we got to talk about some stuff that piqued your interest as much as it piqued mine. And I think it's time for us to wrap this up. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. My name is Mike, and for Jake, we are the Super Wheeler Bros podcast. Have yourselves a super week.